These things are ingested daily by Americans of all ages. In an economy with a free market enterprise, where companies will make things look appealing to turn a profit, how do we guide our children to a healthier future?
It's a poison. It is designed to be an addictive, and these companies want us to not be able to not eat it. And so it's also one of those, once we start eating those products, those processed food products, regular food, healthy food does not taste as good to us anymore because it tastes different. It changes our taste buds.
A lot of times with kids, we look at them like, oh, they're young, they'll get through it, they'll get better, they have high metabolism, but that's not the case because, you know, these foods and stuff will create, food's a drug. It has a mental or a brain response that has a dopamine connection, and that's what we become addicted to early on.
I think the first thing we need to do is lead by example. It's not fair for adults to be eating chips and pretzels and candy and saying, eat your vegetables. So I think we need to adopt the healthy lifestyle we want to see in our children.
You can plan your meals to be more nutritional value as far as keeping you healthy instead of creating things that could cause problems like the ultra-processed foods and sugar. And
look at the sugar content of whatever you're eating. And however many grams of sugar that is, divide it by 4. So if there's 40 grams of sugar, that means whatever you're going to buy, there's 10 teaspoons of sugar in that product. And so those sugars, those hidden sugars, really do a lot of damage to our bodies that I don't think people realize. And some of that damage builds up slowly over time. I think it's important for students to know how to read a label, how to navigate a grocery store, how to figure out, like, an example is kids will eat pizza and they'll be stuffed, and then an hour later they're hungry. I think it's important for students to know the reason you're hungry after eating all that food is because your body didn't get the nutrients it needs. And I think a lot of our students are overfed and undernourished. And I would love to bring that into a health class.
it's like the whole teach a kid to fish thing. You know, if you teach a kid what's good for them and what's not good for their body, that would empower them.
When I was growing up and I ate McDonald's French fries, or I had a Gatorade, or I had some of the candy and things that kids have now, it was much less ingredients. You know, McDonald's French fries were 3 or 4 ingredients, and now it's over a dozen. Gatorade, which tasted horrible in the 70s and 80s, was only 3 or 4 ingredients, and it was much more salty. Whereas today, it's very focused on sugar. And I also think if I were to go to the grocery store with students or children, I would show them, hey, this is how I shop. And I read the ingredients of everything I buy. And if I can't pronounce it, I don't buy it. And I think that's very important for them to do, to say, hey, what is this? Why are we putting this in our body? What effects is that going to have on us in the short term and in the long run?
There will always be unhealthy options that entice children, so it is up to us to lead by example. That way we can be the change that we want to see in our future generations. With Foghorn News, this is Chandler Carroll.